Hey everyone. I thought today I was going to talk about Crimson Desert, but you know what? I think we need to talk about Sony, guys. Something's wrong. Something's definitely wrong with Sony. More accurately, PlayStation, and what's been going on recently. Because I don't think it's mere hubris that's got Sony where they are at this point in time. I think it's mismanagement. And it's a similar mismanagement to what Microsoft has been going through. And it's more of a systemic issue, technologically speaking. What I mean by that is technology has reached a point where products don't matter, which is what Microsoft and Sony sell. For instance, Sony sells cameras, they sell televisions, they sell an array of technological products, and Microsoft sells an array of things from software to hardware. And technologically speaking, every iteration going forward feels like a step backwards in a sense. And what do I mean by that exactly? It doesn't matter if you have the biggest and the best. It doesn't matter if you have the brightest and the sharpest. Because at the end of the day, it's an attention economy that we live in, and everyone just wants your attention. And they don't know how to capture your attention in the realm that they live in. And that's ultimately what I think is going on. You see, everyone wants to make money. That is the primary goal of any business. Microsoft is $1 trillion company. You get what I'm saying? Sony is one of the biggest in the world. These are behemoths of companies, Microsoft being bigger, of course. And ultimately, they were able to get to where they got to through the power of technological superiority. They sold the better product, and the same was holding true for consoles, which is why Microsoft was smart to enter into the space when they first started. But now, unfortunately, for both of them, and Nintendo, I guess, I guess for better or for worse, actually saw the writing on the wall to begin with. The answer isn't to have the best, or at least what it means to be the best is no longer what it was before, because before it was pretty cut and dry. My console is stronger than your console. It is more advanced technologically than your console. Henceforth, I am better. But we know that's no longer the case, because how can a console come out with less power, with less technological advancement in a sense, yet still thrive like the Nintendo Switch and become one of the best selling consoles of all time, soon to be the greatest console seller of all time if it's able to sell just a few more million? Unthinkable. But that's the age that we live in. It's no longer a, biggest is best, just because my number is higher than your number, etc., etc. And it's new. It's a new world that we're all living in, and Sony and Microsoft haven't caught up, and they don't know how to catch up. So they're unfortunately mired in essentially office politics. That's what happens when you get stuck as a company, as anything. You all of a sudden start playing games that basically benefit you, and that's where Sony is right now. I'm not going to say they have a plethora of girl bosses who are just trying to climb up the corporate ladder and make it and don't really care what they're in and what they're selling. But essentially, it has become a group of people who are looking out for themselves, and because there's no direct metric to essentially a hit, they don't know what they're trying to get. So everyone's just, trying to get ahead. And of course, this was always the case. But before, there was an answer. The answer was, well, we're going to sell the most powerful version of the technology at a cheaper cost. If you remember, it's notorious, the announcement of the PlayStation to the world, it was just one word, or just one saying, one phrase, and that was 299. You know, the PlayStation was announced to the world. And the answer was 299. That's all you needed to know. So yeah, we no longer live in that world. Just because you have the better console, the more powerful console, doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's about selling the experience, but what is the experience? And unfortunately, they don't have the answer. And Sony is playing games because they don't have the answer, and they're just trying to milk what they can milk, get what they can get, and get away with what they can get away with. Because who knows? Live action, I mean, sorry, live service games didn't work, and that's what they betted the horse on. Having these big, sprawling 80-hour games, they don't seem to be the answer as well, you know? So, shout out Crimson Desert. I should probably talk about Crimson Desert as well, but uh, it's mid. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough where the industry is heading simply because no one knows what the answer is. Nintendo know what the answer is, but Nintendo play by their own rules, and Sony are trying to now mimic them with this idea of a handheld, etc. But who knows if that's going to work out, you know? It's not easy to figure out the answer when you don't have the answer. And that's the hard part because you can't copy Nintendo. Nintendo are their own thing. They've built their own world and now they basically, are seamlessly woven into the fabric of society. Like Nintendo is now synonymous with just fun fun times, I guess, or like childhood. Yeah, it's synonymous with people's childhoods, with people's upbringing, and yeah, there's a lot of power that they have cultivated, mainly through Pokemon. But yeah, they've done very well for themselves to essentially embed themselves into the culture for the foreseeable future, and yeah, they're not going away. But Sony, they haven't built that. No one really cares about Crash Bandicoot like that. No one really cares about any of their IPs. Like God of War is arguably their biggest IP in terms of cultural impact. And who cares, you know? Who really cares? Let's see. Let's see if they're able to truly build it out to be something as interwoven as Pokemon. I mean, it's not gonna, but you know what I mean? Like as powerful in to the pop to the culture as that. And essentially, they don't have it. They don't have this attention grabbing thing because anytime someone says anything about Pokemon or Zelda or Mario, people will pay attention. And Sony just doesn't have any of that. Like Horizon doesn't really do it, really, And let's see, but they don't have any of that, and neither does Microsoft. They used to have Master Chief, but Master Chief hasn't elevated to that level. Nothing that they have IP wise has elevated to such a level where they can just bank on it no matter what. Like they can, like Nintendo can release anything, and if they slap the word Mario, Zelda, or Pikachu on it, it's gonna be a gangbuster just because of the power of those names. And in this attention economy, you can spam that forever. You can spam that forever. And did Nintendo luck into it? Did they just find knew where everything was heading? Because we haven't even figured out ourselves as a society where we are essentially. Gaming really pushed for the live service. They really thought live service was going to be the answer, and it wasn't. So yeah, man, it's a tough time if you really think about it for the industry because they don't know what we want. We don't know what we want. And it's a hard thing to fathom because I don't know if you guys are like me, but I've noticed myself just playing games for the sake of it. Like Crimson Desert is a perfect example. I mean, I'm enjoying the game. It's fun enough, I guess. But like 80 hours in and it's mid, and I see people with like dragons and all sorts of things, but I'm like a chapter 8 and like and I'm playing this game and it's like it's fine. It's the most Skyrim a game has been since Skyrim. But like if Skyrim were to release to get today, I don't think people would like what it is. You know what I mean? Like I don't care, bro. I just don't care. And uh, I don't know. I have nothing else to do. I have nothing else to interact with other than I don't know, doom scrolling or whatever. So it's actually a weird place that we're in because who is PlayStation or Microsoft competing with? Your phone. You know, the attention economy is real, and these social medias have essentially sucked all our time. They have sucked all our time. If you're not working or taking care of things, you know, duty wise, then bro, you're probably scrolling on your phone, wasting your time away. And it used to be gaming, it used to be TV, it used to be, you know, comic books or whatever, but all of that is being substituted and just, you know, thrown away for passive scrolling. And in a way, it's not like, it's not that different to like AI. AI is also just sucking everything up as well. Like, it's a weird time. And video games might not survive in the form that it's in right now. And what I mean by that is, you know, you might not be playing video games in the future in the same way that you won't be making films, you know? Like, I don't remember the last time I saw an actual film. I don't mean movies, I don't mean games. There's gonna be games and there's gonna be movies, but I mean a film. A film, like, I don't want to say Gone with the Wind or Casablanca or anything that cliched, but like, you know, let me think of something. Um, like, I don't think we're ever gonna get like a Magnolia, you know, a film that like something that is not just poignant in a sense, but like also a movie, you know, a real movie, like an actual film. uh, Actually, he released a recent film. What was that? One battle after the other. And if that's what film is now, if that's what movie is now, like, you know, that's where we're at. Like, that's where we're at, and that's where gaming is gonna be. Like, I'm not saying like the best of gaming has come and gone. Like GTA 6 is still coming, but like that's where we are. It's no longer that. It's no longer this thing that we can't wait to see where they're gonna take it, because they've already taken it there, and it's losing to Instagram, and it's losing to X, and it's losing to Reddit or whatever. You know, and those are the stuff I scroll. But like TikTok, like they're losing their time to these things, and gaming more so than say cinema. All of a sudden, you know, cinema is still a viable industry. Surprise, surprise. Who would have thought that? But gaming might not be anymore. Look at Xbox, man. Xbox are dead in the water. And sure, they got Mama Sharma. And shout out Mama Sharma. I believe she's the girl boss that Xbox needs right now. But what can she do, honestly? Like, what can she do to revive the Xbox brand? And the evolution, the time to evolve is now. The time to evolve is now. But what is the answer? And no one knows. That's why everyone's just playing this game of milking as much as they can get. That's it. And Sony are doing no different, because the people inside the industry, the people in the higher up, are playing this game of everything can be right. Everything can be right. You know, there is no wrong answer at this point, because there's nothing that anyone can point to say that this is it. This is what we have to do. This is how we have to move, etc., etc. There's none of that. So everyone can come up with the right answer, but of course, because it's corporate, everyone's just going to bullshit, and whoever wins wins. But at the end of the day, it might not be what the consumer wants at all. It probably won't be what the consumer wants at all. But there are no better answers, and you might be there sitting there, no, they should just do this, be nice to the consumer, blah blah blah. Look, they're trying to make money. They're trying to make money, and of course they'll be nice to the consumer when they know that it will get you somewhere. But now it's not getting them anywhere. So they don't know the answer. No one knows the answer. So you enter into, well, just maximize what we have. Maximize the profits that we have. Let's just keep the ball rolling, because the numbers are in. We're still selling gangbusters when it comes to consoles, but we don't know what to do next. And we are just trying to figure it out as well, you know? Because your answer might be just release good games, you know? And that's a fair, valid point. But why doesn't Days Gone get a sequel? You know, why is it that Horizon is still a thing? You know, why are these choices still going? Because it's like, it's like we don't know if this is the right thing. We don't know if this is the wrong thing. We can only go along with what we have, and what we have is what we have. So, anyway, let me know what you think.